Got the Massey Ferguson over here, idling up. Show you what we're going to do next. So, well, we've got the excavator here. We've got the storm shelter here that's built in 1947. And through the years, erosion and so forth has taken its toll. So we're going to, since the excavator's here, we're going to get some work done. So along the edges, if you can see it, there are rocks. So those rocks were used as like a retaining wall, but as you can see, they've all fallen over onto this sidewalk. So I'm going to get the excavator over here. We're going to dig these out. We've got a truckload of soil to put on top of this storm shelter. We're going to build it out with a nice slope and cover this with pollinating type flowers. That's going to add a couple of feet of insulation to this, and hopefully we'll be able to use that for our cold cellar. But you might be wondering, why does this sidewalk go through the yard to the hedgerow? Well, let's take a gander out there. So I've got some more over here that I've pulled out earlier this summer. We were doing a little work. So this sidewalk comes over here into the hedgerow. And if you can see right in there, that's a well. There's the old hand pump. And here is a squared out area. It's possible they had I think that's a shallow well. And it probably had a pump that fed the house and possibly the greenhouses, because there are multiple galvanized type pipes that I dug up. I'll walk over there and show you multiple pipes that were dug up. And I think those water lines fed the different greenhouses through the years. So I'll take you over there and show you that next. Here we are over here next to the trench. Here's one of those water lines. And it went through right there. Not sure where it went, but I'm thinking I skimmed right along it. And here's the other half of it. Now I do know when we were running the irrigation for the garden, I hit another pipe right out here and I pulled it completely out of the ground. Now, I don't know if you can make it out on the camera, laying against the fence, going right up that pile there. And that pipe was connected right here. So this looks to be, inch and a half, inch, quarter, inch and a half. This was most likely the natural gas line, because the direction it's running is where the natural gas comes from the road. This is old. The new is the yellow flex that the gas line runs. So we saw that when we were trenching for the new septic lines. So this is old, most likely fed the greenhouses. There are 2 furnaces in this building over here. And in there, those are like 90 and 110,000 BTU furnaces, really old historical cast iron type. I say historical, old. They're just old. There's nothing historical about them. And those were probably used in the greenhouses back in the day. So we'll get back to work. Tractor's been warming up for a good 10 minutes. We'll get to work. And welcome back. Lunchtime's over. I set the camera down earlier. I had it in the excavator and it just kept falling over. But anyway, got everything cleaned up here. the big rocks pulled out from along the edges, and there was a big stump here. So this is all cleaned up. So this is all dug out, big rocks pulled out. We'll get those with the tractor. Uncovered the vent for the shelter area and burned off all the grass on top. The next step for this area is going to be hand cleanup with the bucket on the tractor. But now this excavator, I'll show it to you. It's a rental. It's a 50p. Got a thumb on the boom. So if anyone didn't know, John Deere model number, the 50, means it's a 5-ton, so it's a 10,000 pound. I use the 18-inch bucket, and the thumb is great. It would be nice to have a excavator. It wouldn't necessarily need a 50G or a 50 series. A 40 would work pretty good. Even a 35 would work for what we have here. I did use it to dig up some stumps. That video was yesterday, but so much had to get dug up around it. I think for the rest of the trees and the stumps that we're going to have, we're just going to just grind it, rake it up, and use the bucket. We'll start a compost pile with the chips. But get this loaded up on the trailer, and going to get started on some conduit. Clean up on this area for another day. Need to get that conduit run over to the barn. So, see you in a bit. And back at it. Got the excavator loaded up. It's ready to go back tomorrow morning. Small problem with the truck. It threw a 4-wheel drive code. So I got stuck on grass. It says the front axle solenoid isn't activating. Hey guys, welcome back. Today, I'm gonna start working on this storm shelter area. Got a bunch of debris to clean up. All this rock in here was kind of up against the storm shelter. We're gonna dig some of this out of here, get it removed. What we're going to do is build this soil up a couple of feet above the shelter, taper out to here, and fill this all in. And what we found, the storm shelter, all concrete, stays very cool, and we can use this as our root cellar. But we needed to get it a little cooler because this is how it was. There was a lot of exposed area, plus the doorway. It was staying a little warm in July, August time frame. So a little more earth to provide some insulation. Up here is going to be a retaining wall. We're going to build this out since we are bringing so much more soil into here. And at the bottom of the entryway, the stairwell here, we're going to add a second interior door as an airlock. There's a sidewalk here, so we're going to fill this, and I have a vent hole. There's a vent hole here. There's another vent on the other side. That's going to be the air circulation for humidity control. But first off, we've got to get all these rocks and debris out of here. So, you know what that means. Get to use a mini excavator. Stand by. Alright guys, I'm out here on the Massey. This pile of dirt right in front of us was delivered a couple years ago, so I need to move it. Put one bucket over in front of the hangar. Piece of equipment we have arriving tomorrow, that needs, there's a little hump to get up on the concrete apron, so that needs to get a little bit of dirt put on there to make that slope a little easier to get that piece of equipment in the hangar. And the rest of it's going to go over on top of the storm shelter. Hey, welcome back. It's a couple days after the last video. Thunderstorms rolled through, so we took a pause. Today is beautiful. So all the soil that's been on top of this storm shelter has been removed. We got some black plastic down, and then we've got some R7 7.5 on top here. This is going to help insulate, even though we're going to have a couple feet of soil. That's kind of going to be the minimum for soil insulation, so we wanted to add a little more specifically on the top. So we're down here south central Kansas, and the sun gets pretty intense, so this will just give us a little bit more. Next up, I'm going to start putting soil back on top. Good morning. Welcome back to Wing It Ranch. Next morning here, we paused last night working on this storm shelter / root cellar. As you can see, we're building a small retaining wall just so we can get some soil built up a little higher. But what we ran into was at the top, right above the door here, right below the level there, ran into a little spacing. So what we did, took some leftover concrete bags and we just poured it on there and let it set up so it could support the weight, but yet still allow the blocks to get wiggled down level. And while that was setting up, we took the 172 flying for 30-45 minutes. That was perfect timing. Now we're level coming across. So today we're going to finish coming across the top, and then we're going to clean this up along here and get blocks set down along here. Then we can backfill. We're filling all of these blocks as we go, and then we're gonna plant some viney stuff, have that come out and fall down the front face of this. So we'll continue on and show you a little clippets along the way. This is a nice one. The little tongue is already off. This will make it easy to sit there. So I'm going to replace it with this one, which I still have to chisel the tongue off. We'll have to fill that. No big deal. There we go. See if I can get another one that's no tongue. Nope. I got a prize. Very good. That's a nice find. Nope, the rest of these have tongues. Flip it upside down just to get our spacing. Then I'll come back and chisel those. And one more block should square us up. We're gonna bring this other side out and run it kind of along the sidewalk here. Not quite sure yet if we're gonna pull this sidewalk up. We've got some shoveling to do, some cleanup there. But we definitely want at least a foot of soil on this side of the storm shelter. Being the north side, it's not gonna get as much sun. And you can see the thickness of this cap. And this rubble is not the wall. This is just rubble against the wall. The wall is, this pipe is right at the edge of the wall. So when I core drilled here, and I used up the entire core bit. I think it's 12 or 14 inches, and it never broke through, so I had to move over. That's when I realized that the wall, interior wall, which is 12 inches thick, is inside. So it's beyond this rubble. This is all backfill when they went and poured the cap. This is all rebar reinforced cap. This storm shelter was built in 1947. So enough talking, back to work. It's the afternoon now, and sometimes you run into situations that one thing leads to another, and the air conditioner just turned on. So we'll come down this way a little bit. There's a sidewalk here that goes from what is now the back porch of the house, but at one time was most likely the patio and come out. In the hedgerow, there's a well. And so this sidewalk has been here since the house was built. We wanted to keep it, but we're finding that it's broken, it's chipped. Mowing, you have to lift the mower deck up to go over it because it'll hit the mower deck. So we've decided we're working on this storm shelter and this, turning it into a root cellar. We're going to take this sidewalk up, but we will bring it back. We want to look more into that well in the future to see if we can get the well going again. But if not, it's just kind of a historical piece of the property. So we'll re-pour the sidewalk, but we'll probably make it a little smaller. It doesn't need to be as big because it's not going to be a daily use item. But one thing leads to another. So we'll get this sidewalk out of here. Good morning. Welcome back to Winged Airfield. It is early Saturday morning, and we got kind of a busy day today. Got my Massey Ferguson hat on, so today I'm going to give the Massey Ferguson a bath. It's due a oil change, and I will do a review on that. Well taken care of that. Behind me here is the storm shelter, so we're going to get this finished off. A little bit more cleanup. Get the pallets out of here, clean this area up a little bit more raking on top, and then we're going to plant wildflowers. We got a 2-pound bag of wildflowers from Harris Seeds, so we're going to spread those out there. And then out in the garden, we're going to do some more tillage. We'll give you a review of how the garden's coming along. The horseradish from last year is up, and we'll take a look at the other things. And we've got a tool from Haas over there in Georgia, Haas Garden Supplies, and we'll take a look at that and review that. So, good morning. Grab your coffee. Welcome aboard. Hello, this is going to be a wrap up on the storm shelter and what we have done with it. So flip this around, give you a quick little wrap up on it. So about 110 retaining wall blocks has all been seeded with wildflowers. You can see they're coming up. The camera should be catching that. We've got the pipes cut down. Added another 15 tons of topsoil to get it built up, and there are now flowers. The way this corner worked out, we decided to just set it up a little different, so we had a little flower to come out of here, so it's built into the block. So these flowers are going to drape over the front. Should look pretty good, and we got some hydrangeas up here, a blue and a pink one. So that's it. The storm shelter is done. It has been very dry here, South Central Kansas. It's been very dry, and we were able to water these wildflowers that have been planted, and hopefully they'll take root before we get a major downpour. So April and May in Kansas is notorious for severe thunderstorms and torrential rains. But so far we have been lucky. I think that's it. That's what we're going to do. Next week's going to be review on the Massey Ferguson oil change. And we've got the grain truck all done. I was working on that today. And the bees are here. So there'll be a video of the bee arrival. We have added bee wings to Wing It Airfield. So that's it for now. Appreciate you watching, and hope you enjoy this video. Be sure to hit that like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Really appreciate it. Got any questions? Hit them down in the comment section. We'll answer them. Thanks.